Yo, mambo vipi mtazamaji wa Nick Story? Just a reminder kukukumbusha uweze kusubscribe channel yetu Nick Story ili uweze kuwa kwanza kupata updates mbalimbali pale ambapo zinatokea na wewe utakuwa kwanza kufikiwa.
Let me go to Nigeria. And I remember very well before we traveled to Nigeria, they gave me certain soap and say, when you go to church, use this. It was a black soap inside a plastic. It was very smelly. And they said you should bath with it on Saturday, 12 o'clock. Saturday, midnight, 12 o'clock, you should take a bowl, fill it with water, and get there and you bath. When you bath with the soap, they said I should start on top of my head. That is where they said my destiny is. And as I took the soap, bathed with it, rub it on my skull, rub it on my head, and I would confess or I will speak things that I wanted to see. And guess what? As a young person who's hungry for power, one thing that I kept on repeating, I want people to fall. I want people to fall. I want people to fall. This was what I thought symbolized the power in ministry. You know, I prayed and said, I want when I touch people to fall down. When I blow out, people must fall down and roll. Those were the kind of powers that made me to seek occultic power so that I can use them in the house of the Lord. And the following morning, I went to church. When I went to church, after I've used that ritual, I got inside church, and you know, during that time when you get inside church, you get very late. You don't start with the worship. You don't start with intercession because you are not part of them spiritually. Once you become part of the occultic, you don't connect with the body of Christ because there are certain rules that they tell you that you need to come when it's your time to ascend the pulpit because that is when you come with your force. So you don't have to come and start with the service during the beginning of the service. And I came, they were singing this song, and as they were singing the song, and I parked the car, you know, when they parked the car, everybody get excited and said, the pastor is here. And when I walked inside the hall, they clapped their hands. They did not know that I have used the black soap. They looked at me as the man of God, but they did not know that as I passed there, I was followed by evil spirits. I stood on the pulpit and I took on the microphone and I started to pray. And I started to say, touch them, touch them. You know what happened? Immediately I said, touch them. I said, ushers, ushers, where are you? You know, you create that vibe and say, ushers, ushers, move around, ushers. I'm telling you, within 2 minutes, I started to hear people screaming. Others were falling. In my heart, I said, yeah, this black soap is working. So sometimes when we see all these things that are happening in our churches, in the body of Christ, sometimes we think it is the power of God.